Hello, friends. Hi, welcome. We'll do a quick recap of the Friday session and probably lay out a plan for the week as well. So, this will be a weekly sort of analysis with some inputs for next week as well, next day. Okay. So, first Friday, I think if you remember, the levels that we had in terms of our market plan was 870, 880 in Nifty. Okay, and then we also had about 37,800 in Bank Nifty. Okay, so what were the clues in terms of that a move can come? Okay, that's a constant question that might intrigue you. Okay, so let's just look at it from a perspective of the charts itself, the profile analysis. So we try to analyze in terms of value. Okay, just to see. So what happens is if you see market had this bracket and then it had sort of this bracket. Okay, so now there were couple of occasions when it pushed below this. This was this, and then this was of course this. Okay, so it pushed on the sorry this day and this day, right? Okay, the couple of occasions where market had pushed below these, but so the whole idea was that whether market can sustain below these levels or not. So if you see this bracket and this bracket were pushing below that level, okay, so now the these were late shots into the system. These were either trying to trade this breakdown or trade this breakdown, late shots into the system typically. Okay, so ideally you would expect a continuation of the market. Now at the same time, I have been telling in the group that we had 6 or 7 days of down move. So essentially, all the new shorts are at much lower levels eventually, right? So these shorts average prices are much lower than the initial market fall prices itself. Okay. So now if the global cues and other things were negative on that, in at least at open around Friday, I would have expected some sort of a continuation and maybe a consolidation and build at a lower level. But what happens is we can plan for the levels. We can plan for the levels. We can plan for the action to that. That's all. Our job is to plan and then react to the situation. Sort of anticipate the next move and then be prepared for it, right? Okay. So now if you see what happened is if you see these candles, okay, the initial sell deltas were very weak or neutralish. Basically the sell and the buy deltas were very neutralish in the market. Okay, if you see the deltas, I'll just enlarge it. Okay, so the deltas were pretty neutralish and weak, and then we had this delta candle which was sort of high delta and tried to break above these levels of 880. Now once this happened, all you that's an alert sign. First of all, second is if you had this candle where there was a lot of wick and absorption, okay, this was where the news came in. So then this happened. So ideally this candle, what could have happened is this. Okay, this candle high would have been held and then market kind of rotated back. Okay, but the next candle showed follow up strength, and that was a confirmation that markets can go up. Okay, and I said that once it starts pulling up, you will not look at an immediate level, you would look at the other side of the range, 1710 and higher levels, right? Typically we that's the range we're looking at. Then 17100 and then 150, I think was an inflection point where I thought if we continue to hold above that, it can go beyond, but eventually it went to 200 and came back below 150 levels. Okay, so that was the whole idea and thought process of that day. Same for Bank Nifty also. If you see, the deltas where there was a negative delta in the first candle, but there was no follow through, and then this candle had a massive delta. I think no, this candle broke above that level that we had. So my idea is, once it is trading outside a level, I'm looking at the order flow, looking and to see whether there is a continuity or not. So once this happened, this candle, I think, yeah, this candle was a reasonably okay delta, nothing great. So then we started taking building some positions into this move and eventually added up as the follow through happened, right? Okay, try to trade the levels. The plan that I share is very, I think works reasonably well. So try and trade those levels and we'll see from there. Okay, now we'll quickly come to the weekly analysis. Okay, so weekly charts, if you see, this was trending value lower, value lower, value lower. This continued to be value lower so far. Okay, now what has happened is if you see, this is where if you look at the Nifty weekly profiles, these are the Nifty weekly profiles. Okay, so if you see, there was a large volume accumulation there around 600 600. We did not even go there at this point, so we sort of made a low around this gap candle where there was a standalone gap candle, if you see. Okay, this one, and then kind of have pulled back now from there, right? Okay, now we what we'll attempt to do, my guess is, if we are able to hold the 940 950 levels, okay, my plan for the next week is, if you're able to hold the 940 and 950 levels, make a push and attempt to 340 350, okay. And if not, if we are not able to hold 940 950, then I think this low and this eventually this area of 600 550 is on, okay. So 940 950 level is something we'll watch for, which is also almost the value area low of this profile of the week, okay. And there are a couple of highs if you see at 17200 now. So once we test upside this, it could be a few days of consolidation before a move. It could happen that way, play out that way, that we consolidate a bit and do a bit of an inside day, because if you see, this was 4 days of move which was got taken out in one day. Now it could be that we can consolidate in this range and in a higher range, and then break, have the next move. But this is the overall general plan as such, okay. And similarly, on if you look at the weekly profile on Bank Nifty, um, again, weekly profile on Bank Nifty went, to this entire value zone low. If you see, failed to break below and has now pulled back inside. So when it pulls back inside a value zone, typically your expectation is to sort of try and attempt the other side, which is 39,450 and up to even 39,900 if that is possible. Okay. So, but we have to trade the levels. We do not know whether it will go or not. So my reference here is about 38,200 levels. Okay. So if we try and hold 38,200 in, and then we push back above 815 above this yesterday's highs, Friday's highs, and 939,500 is a probability that I look to test. Okay, so if you're not able to hold and market starts holding on the lower range below 38,200, 38K levels, then I think there is a good possibility we go down 36,500 areas in the next week itself. Okay, so my baseline for this week would be 38, 38,200. Holding that, the bias will be to trade pullback long, see the continuity of this big move. It's come with good volumes and everything, so we would expect this move to continue on the higher side. Okay. Uh, Now, tomorrow as a session can be a bit tricky, because once the global market is down and we might gap down, and two, this move was a very fast and a big move, so it could be tricky. My best case tomorrow is we open somewhere in between and then try to consolidate and form a bias for the next day. It could be a consolidation day, and then probably we can see the bias for the next day as the move plays out. Okay. So that could be the thing. And same for Bank Nifty also. So what I'll do is I'll try to use this VWAP, certain 17,000 levels as a reference for tomorrow. If you're able to hold into that, I think I'll try to look for a bullish play, okay, on the upside, and then we'll see if we can test back to 17,200 and higher levels. Okay, so watch out for 17,000, 17,050 hold. Similarly on the Bank Nifty, okay, there is a distinct, if you see, there's a very distinct a high volume area at 200 levels. 38 200 is a solid level to really watch out for. Until we hold that 38 200, we would expect to sort of form a consolidation between 38 200 and 38 800 ranges, which is the Friday's ranges. Okay, if you're able to hold below 38 200, I'm expecting the consolidation to be at the lower side of the range. Okay, so 38 180 200, roughly that number is what we look for. Okay, guys. I think the other thing, as I said, start following the plan, use it along with your levels. When I share the plan, try to plot that levels in your chart, use it as a reference. And I think I'm telling you, try to use the scenarios that I'm trying to give. Try to play one or two of those scenarios. I think that will really help improve your trading and outcomes extremely well. Okay. Have a good Sunday evening. Take care and enjoy the evening. Thank you.